mother, stepmother, she irritates him. His stepmother challenges him. If you want to be close to your father, then because his father Uttamapada, he has two wives, Suruchi and Suniti. See, these Bhagavad stories are basically good for us to understand the story part of it also. It's interesting to listen to somebody's stories as it is. Apart from that, it is also good for us to take home some messages for you know our own life. So those days they used to have two wives, and both the wives used to be living. That was a system. ಆ ಕಾಲಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಅನುಗುಣವಾಗಿ ಆ ಥರ ಇತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ. So Suruchi and Suniti. Suruchi was closer to her husband. So the father and both had one son each, Uttama and Dhruva. But Dhruva was born to Suniti, who was not so much liked by the king. Suruchi was very charming and impressive, deceitful also. So she and her husband and Uttama, they're all sitting on the throne, and then this boy is sitting on his father's lap. Dhruva runs and he wants to sit on his father's lap, to which Suruchi insults and she says that you should be born in my womb as my son to get this privilege. So go and do tapas, remember God, and then you can come and ask for this opportunity. And Suruchi will insult. He goes crying to Suniti. Suniti says, correct. She has told, if you want any such privileges, you should go to Hari, Sri Hari, Narayana, meditate. Then he takes it very seriously and goes to Madhuvana, sits there and does very uh, strict austerity, tapascharya, for 6 months. And as we have discussed, he had a great determination that he has to do tapas. He has to, it is not to take revenge or something, but he should get his position because he's a Kshatriya. He cannot afford to, take such insults. He has to react. So on the way he meets Narada. Narada tells him not to go back because you are too young. He's 5-year-old. So still he says, no, I am not a person who can accept such injustice. I have been told by my mother, and I know that is the right way. And he will sit totally not scared of any beasts or animals or people or anybody, because wild forest. So there he will be. He knows that he will have to face all the threats from these animals, and so in spite of that, though he is so young, he doesn't get scared, and then he decides to start his meditation as told by Narada. And we have discussed that he gets that mantra which comes in Bhagavad, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He keeps chanting, worshipping with very, very high end concentration, very high level of concentration, and so much of control on his senses that initially he eats only the fruits once in 3 days. After that, he eats only the leaves once in 7 days. After that, he stops eating. Not only that, even the breath he feels is coming on the way of remembering Narayana. So he stops breathing. He takes one breath every once in fortnight. That is the way he starts meditating. After that, for the entire month, he is not breathing at all. So much deep is his concentration, and that takes him to highest state. When the Bhagavad describes, when he goes, before he goes into that deep state, he has so much control on his prana, not the breath. The prana and breath are slightly different. Breath is part of the prana. Prana is a life force. Through breath we can control that life force. There are different types of pranas. So he, through his breath, he controls them, so that even without breathing, he is able to sustain his life and concentrate on the Lord, on his form, as Narada would have described. And we have discussed that on the form of Narayana, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, his beautiful face, assuring face. So he would have told him to chant and remember him all through. So he follows all the instructions of Narada, and by sixth month, when his pranas start getting controlled, it is described that the Deva Devatas, who are the Abhimani Devatas, they are the ones who are linked to these processes in the body. That's what our scriptures say. So they start feeling suffocated. It seems that much was his control. And then they approach Vishnu that something has to be done. He's too young. And then Vishnu comes in his aerial vehicle. He gives darshan to him. He appears before him. He says, "Open your eyes." And then he finds Lord Vishnu right in front of him. And Dhruva is so pleased that tears starts flowing, and he hugs him, he kisses him. He's a small lad, so that much of love he has. And Vishnu is pleased, and he says, "I know why you have come here, because you were deeply hurt by the insult you and your mother faced. So I will grant you a boon. You will go back, you will rule for 36,000 years, and you will become the king. After that, you will become the pole star, which the entire human and entire world and all the gods, goddesses, all the saptarshis, everybody will look up to you, and you will be there forever immortalized." So he gets that, and now you go back, he says. He comes back, but Dhruva, at the age of 5 years, has become so mature that he regrets that he has not asked for liberation. Why I did not ask for liberation? Maybe I had that mind, vengeful mind against my brother and my stepmother. And also Deva Devatas must have been jealous of me. Until he will start thinking, he comes back. Now, next, what happens is, as he comes back, we have seen that his father, his mother, stepmother, stepbrother, everybody, even the stepmother, father, he regrets a lot because he's a good person, nice person. So they all go back to him, and they with lot of pomp and show, they bring him back to the kingdom. And then once he grows, Uttamapada, his father, retires. He goes to the forest, and now Dhruva is coronated as the king. So Dhruva now grows, and he now gets married. Once he grows, he is coronated. He becomes the king, and he marries Brahmi. Brahmi is his wife's name, and she gets two children, Vatsara and Kalpa. And he marries another lady called Ila. Ila has Utkala. Ila's son is Utkala, and a daughter. So now what happens to his brother, Uttama? Uttama remains unmarried, and then he once goes for hunting to the Himalayas, his stepbrother, Dhruva's stepbrother. Now Uttamapada has gone to the forest. So Uttama, his brother, he goes to Himalaya for hunting, and he is killed by Yaksha. Yakshas are a clan of beings who are little inferior to Devas. Better than Asuras, little inferior to Devas, but they are in close association with Rudra, actually, Shiva. They are kind of more on the good side only, Yaksha. But he is killed there. And Suruchi, his mother, who is old now with no husband. So now she goes in search of her son, and she is killed by the wild animals in the forest. So the stepmother and the stepbrother both are killed, and Dhruva lives with his mother and with his two wives and with his four children now in his palace. So beautiful palace. Previously, we have described lot of wealth, lot of prosperity. Only thing was, when his father was there, these things were happening. Jealousy, some kind of misunderstanding, arguments, putting down this Suniti and all that. So now Dhruva is there. Dhruva has come, and Dhruva has had the great vision of Narayana, and therefore he's a blessed soul, lot of grace. And obviously, when the leader, one who sits on that uh, seat, is blessed, you can understand how beautifully the kingdom is ruled, or the institution also. If the rulers or the leaders are highly spiritual, imagine if somebody like Dhruva sits as the head of the institution, how beautiful will that institution be? However, what happens next is not so pleasant. So Dhruva, during he rules for um, 36,000 years. Now, as once he learns that Uttama is killed by Yaksha, he again goes to Alaka. Alaka is a area in Himalaya where his brother is killed. He comes to know that. To take revenge, he goes there with all his, fully equipped to fight. And there he meets Guhyakas. That's also one tribal community which will have bhutas coming. It's in Himalayas, close to Rudra's place actually. So he goes there and he initiates fight, big fight, major fight. And he and his people, they blow the conches and they indicate that they have come. They have carried lot of weapons, and so this is a act to take revenge for his brother's death. Because Dhruva is not a person who remembers his stepbrother, it serves him right. He was not like that. Though Uttama and Suruchi, both, because Suruchi went behind, she is also killed. So Dhruva actually has forgiven them and he has accepted them as his own. So now he has gone there to take revenge. And then these guhyas come in big numbers. It goes on, increasing in the fight. It grows beyond proportion actually. Initially these people are small in number, so they become very huge. They start fighting, and so much so that they also have some magical powers, it seems. So they Bhagavad describes the fight, how it happens. So they keep fighting. These people are killed. They are beheaded. So many jewels are seen lying here and there. There's bloodshed. Everything happens. All of a sudden, what happens is they create a kind of magic, and suddenly, Dhruva and his people are on them. There are a lot of things that start showering, because it's called a magical battle. So a lot of pieces of wood, rocks, blood, everything, like everything falls on them in heaps. So you cannot make out where is Dhruva. So that is the image they create. I mean, magical power. Through magical power, they start fighting, which Dhruva cannot antagonize. So this rishis and all can perceive, no, who are away near the Himalayas and outside. So they pray to the Lord that may Dhruva be protected, because by now Dhruva's reputation is well known everywhere. So the rishis start praying to protect Dhruva from this kind of torture given by Guhyakas. So hearing this, then suddenly what happens is he gets some power. They come out, he and his people, and he has one Narayanastra. He does some japa and all that, and then he, as though he will put some mantra on his weapon. With that, now he starts massacring these people left and right. So many Guhyakas come, and that anger and vengeance again comes up in his mind so much that he does not care. Left, right, he keeps on massacring, and there's a huge bloodshed. So this goes to this is known by his grandfather, Swayambhu Manu. Swayambhu Manu's grandson is Dhruva. So Swayambhu Manu immediately comes there, and then he says, Dhruva, this is not the way to fight. You are fighting out of anger. So he gives him an advice. He says, you are representing the great Manukula, and we are directly linked to Lord Brahma. We have got so much of grace by Mahavishnu, and above all that, you have done so much of austerity, and you have been blessed. And what are you doing now? We understand that you have to take action for your brother's death. But that doesn't mean you have to slaughter people like this. This is going beyond proportion. And what is the root cause? It is nothing but your anger. See, even in the Kurukshetra, Lord Krishna advises Arjuna to fight. He does not stop him from fighting. There, Krishna, it comes later, but it has come in the previous Manvantara also. So Krishna says, you have to fight. That's your dharma. Because there, that was a fight against adharma. So the same thing, the same fight here, Dhruva is using for satisfying his anger. He's so angry, so furious. How dare these people kill my brother and our dynasty? People from coming from our kula, our dynasty. Ours is a very well-known dynasty. These are all what Guhyakas, they're all tribal people. They cannot afford to do this. Anta, out of vengeance, he is fighting. So uh, Swayambhu Manu says, this is not the way, Dhruva. Anta, you will make him sit and advise him. So you must not do it out of anger. Then it becomes adharma, isn't it? So it affects the tradition of our whole Manukula. This indiscriminative slaughter is not accepted, and it does not suit. He says it does not suit the devotee of Mahavishnu. You have been a devotee of Mahavishnu, isn't it? You have done so much of tapascharya, you have seen him, he has blessed you, and he has given you so many things. But this is not the way to do. If your brother has died, if your mother, stepmother has died, it is his wish. Everything happens as per his wish. Recently, I heard one lecture by one acharya. So he was saying, if the husband, this is a very interesting one, and maybe we should take it. Bhakti, true bhakti believes in this actually. So his wife dresses up nicely, cooks very good food, and serves her husband. But husband may not always like it. It seems. I mean, this used to happen previously. Nowadays, not all women want to dress up and be ready, waiting for husband in the evening. Those days have gone. But anyway, good relation. Let us say the wife wants to please the husband, but that Acharya says only if God wishes, the husband will be pleased. She might have cooked very nice, delicious food. Husband will come, he will say, okay, I will eat later. I'm not hungry. I had my dinner outside. He may not even eat and it goes into the fridge. The wife will feel very disappointed. Many times it happens. But on the if God's grace is there, whatever she cooks as well, oh, so nice. I've never had such a food. Even if it is not delicious, he may appreciate. So that Acharya was saying, for everything there's God's wish and will. Just by your effort, nothing is going to happen. He should be pleased. He should be there. He should make it happen. Same is with vice versa also. The husband also may or may not be liked by the wife. How hard he tries to please her, she may not appreciate him. So if God's presence is there, in other words, he was saying that having devotion at home, having bhakti at home, bringing the divinity at home will make everything happen. So here also he says that everything is as per his wish. Your brother died, it is his wish. Your mother died, it's his wish. It was not your doing at all. It was not at all you are doing. Whatever things happen is because of Kala and Guna. Kala is him. The minute he starts creating, the time starts. And whatever has to happen at a destined time, it will happen. That is how it has been designed by him. It is his wish. So if you think logically, we say it is designed as per the guna and karma, isn't it? As per people's karma. And here, if you see Suruchi and Uttama, Uttama was small child, poor thing. But Suruchi had misbehaved. If you see outside as a third party, she had misbehaved. You may say that she deserved it. And that's what probably Mahavishnu thought. So she deserved, and that is what she got. She suffered from her putra viyoga. The way Suniti suffered when you went to forest, she also went through. And it was destined to be like that. This is what I'm interpreting. They don't, in Bhagavad, they say everything is as per his wish, and whatever is happening is because of kala and swabhava or guna and karma. Karma. You can call it as kala, swabhava, karma. Swabhava or guna. Everybody's swabhava is everybody as per his guna. And time will decide when and what will happen. If you take logically, it is decided by his or her previous karma. So when his karma becomes so much full, then he has to face it. Then means it is kala. At the right time, right things will happen. So you should not be affected by that. You should not try to take control based on your anger. You can take control if you are sattvic, if you see, if you have a vision guided by the divinity, then it's right. But here, everything you are doing based on your anger, based on your vengeance, that is not done. So leave this. And how much Brahmastra, Narayanastra, he uses left and right. Misuse of your power, misuse of your weapons, not at all warranted. And if you want to be now, when you came back, actually, when Dhruva comes back after having a vision of Mahavishnu, he's little disturbed because he, as we said, he feels, why didn't I not ask for liberation? So here, this Swayambhu Manu says, if you want to be totally in the divine consciousness and fearless, then first thing you have to control is anger. This is a lesson for us. I'm telling exactly his words. Anger is the one that should be conquered. Only then you will have the Mahavishnu established in your heart permanently. You will have him established forever. And if you control anger, you should control anger because this anger will create fear in others, he says. That is something very interesting. You want to be fearless. What is the best thing to be fearless? To become divine conscious. Actually, the greatest benefit of taking spiritual path is you will become fearless because you will have connection with the divine, and you will trust him and you will surrender to him. The true bhakti, if we have, what is true bhakti? Gratitude, surrender, accept, and trust. G sat. First we must have gratitude. I'm telling based on the gist of all whatever we have discussed. First we must have the gratitude for keeping us the way we are now, and we, especially you and I, we should have utmost gratitude because we are uh, put in the path of spirituality. We are getting this rare knowledge. Rarest of the rarest is spiritual path. Very small fraction of people get this opportunity to think about the divinity because there are so many things that are going to distract us. There are so many situations which can keep us engaged so much that we may not find time or interest to listen to such things. The fact that God has given us, so we must be grateful to him. Apart from the gratitude that we have human body, we have reasonable intelligence, and we have comforts, basic above average comfort, above average. We need not struggle for food or shelter or clothing. Basic comforts are fulfilled. We have reasonably good people around us. We have great, no, what we should not aspire for anything else. And the greatest blessing is this grace of knowledge. So gratitude, and then surrender completely. We surrender completely when we accept whatever is happening around us as his prasad or as his giving. He has blessed whatever is there because we surrender completely means he knows what suits us. Yoga kshemam vahamyaham. We must tell that repeatedly. He knows me. So when we start telling repeatedly, then he will lift us with both the hands. So then surrender, gratitude, surrender, accept whatever is there. It's okay because that acceptance is because we are in journey. This is not the end. Something is happening to us. What is happening? Some unhealthy, unpleasantness is happening. I have something to learn. He's teaching me something. What is there to learn? That way we have to explore and hold his feet. Surrender, accept it, even though with little difficulty, still accept it. And then trust. When you trust him, then everything falls in place. When you trust, he has told he will take care of me. He has told yoga kshemam vahamyaham. The minute we go, name bhaktaha pranashyati. My devotees shall never perish. This is what he has given assurance. So many times he has assured in Bhagavad Gita. So here also he says, when we do all that, then we become fearless. Why should we fear? About what we should fear? Even death cannot make me afraid. I'm not afraid of even death because he's there always. Yoga kshemam vahamyaham. Name bhaktaha pranashyati. These two things we must keep reminding ourselves. So he says, if you want to be fearless, and fearlessness comes partly because he is Kshatriya, he is a fearless fellow. The true fearlessness, Kshatriya is not afraid out of external. Internal, who has to ask? That comes with divine consciousness. So if you want to be fearless, that means if you want to conquer everything and become conscious, go higher, Satchidananda. That's what is the hidden meaning. So you must conquer anger, because if you show anger, others become fearful. You are instilling fear among others. So it's not good. You should also be fearless. You must make others also fearless. In other words, when we are angry, it means always that we are insecure. An angry person. I'm telling this not that I've conquered anger. I am also in the process, and these things make me more, go within and try to see what is making really triggering. So nothing triggers actually. It is our ego. That's all. We are not. It is sitting like a serpent with all the. It's good. If we are little calm, little if we take, theek hai, chodo. We will count 10, then that goes. So he says here, this is full of anger. I can see that in you. With full of vengeance, full of anger you have come. If you want to be fearless, then if you want to be fearless, first control anger, and then you will see a lot of changes. You are the ruler, so you must practice this. And Kubera is a yaksha. You have killed some yakshas. Guhyakas are very close to yakshas, and Kubera is one of the yaksha who's very close to Rudra. So by doing all this, by killing so many people, you are definitely hurt. You have hurt him. You have hurt, and they're all very close to us. He says, Swayambhu Manu. You know, Manu, Prajapati, all are created by Brahma only. And so therefore, Rudra is also created by Brahma. They're all contemporaries, and they have good connection with each other, good relationship. So he says, this is not done. Dhruva, you are, our reputation is at stake, and therefore now you have to sit and do tapas, and again control your anger and all this behavior, so that you establish Narayana in your heart, and then you can be a better ruler. So then Dhruva carefully listens to his grandfather. This is also important, no? Just because a grandfather or father tells a grandson or a son, respectively, there is no compulsion that they should listen. It depends on their uh, make also, how good they are. So Dhruva accepts, says, yes, Grandpa, I agree. And I'm sorry for that. Anta helbiಟ್ಟು, I was deviated. And then he sits and he meditates. He controls his anger. He tries to bring that there only in those that forest. He sits and he prays and he regrets, he repents, all that he will purify his mind, basically. So there is a scope always for purification, for correction, for repentance, for reflection for all of us. Any mistakes do happen because we are all humans. And but if you understand, if we understand, we are at fault and we correct ourselves, then there is a scope. So what happens is, now look, Kubera himself comes. So Swayambhu Manu would have told that this may break the relation between us and Rudra and Kubera. So now, on the contrary, Kubera comes to know that Dhruva has repented, regretted, reflected. So he comes with his people with Vedic chanting, because all said and done, they all know about Dhruva's merit. Dhruva was a young lad who went to the forest and did the most difficult austerity. Hatha yoga also. He stood on one leg for 15 days, another leg for 15 days, and withstood all that conditions of weather and animals and the ants and so many things crawling on his body, yet not bothered. So he says, Kubera also gives him a full one though. He gives him a suggestion, advice, and he says, "See, this is everything is Lord's wish and will. Don't think you have killed the yakshas or uhyakas. They were destined to be killed." He says, "It's okay as long as you have understood from your grandfather and to be free from samsara, to be free from the samsara, which you are going to run now for several years ahead. So keep worship Lord in each and every being." This is the gist of his. There's a full paragraph. Kubera says, for you, I would give you one suggestion, one advice, and that is think that Lord, think Allah, see Lord. You have seen the Lord in you, you have seen him outside. See the Lord in each and every living being. In Bhagavad Gita class, we discussed no, how consciousness is there in each and every being, non-living, living, plants, animals, table, tin, metals, everything. So you must see the Lord in each and everything. Keep him in your mind always and go and rule the kingdom. So now you can ask me a boon because I'm pleased with your repentance. I'm pleased. And I'm not going to keep any of this in my mind. You may go ahead. Let us continue to be having good relationship. You represent a very beautiful, uh, graceful clan of Swayambhu Manu. So obviously, and you yourself have got so much of reputation. Mahavishnu has appeared before you. How can I antagonize you? ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ now I can also grant you because Kubera also was a uh, Siddhi Purush. He also had done lot of penance and he had, otherwise who will ask? Give me, I and you can ask. I will give you a boon and who will give? Nobody will give. We ourselves are not fully equipped. So Kubera was a great person and he says, what shall I give you? Dhruva says, give me now this time unbroken remembrance of Lord Hari. May I remember him forever throughout my life. I should remember him. That is the boon I want. Just like Bhakta Prahlada. Prahlada also was asked, what do you want? He says, do you think bhakti is a business? Is it a deal? Vyapara, that word comes. No, I want your presence always. So Dhruva also. So if any of you get darshan of Sri Hari, keep that in your mind. Whenever we all should keep that in our mind. So he says, unbroken, constant remembrance of Lord Hari. When there is constant remembrance, what happens? Yoga Kshemam Vahamyam. Nitya Yukta. What does the Lord want? Lord wants this. Lord wants this only. Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Ye Jana Paripasate Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam. Daily, consistently. That is what Dhruva is asking. Give me that unbroken remembrance. So if we also ask, we need not wait for his darshan. Every day we will ask, let us ask, God, give me constant remembrance. Then we need not struggle for our yoga kshema. He will take care. So he will take care of not only that, he will give much more than what we actually imagined. It is beyond our imagination. What he gives goes beyond our imagination. And so, therefore, unbroken remembrance. Now, he goes back to his kingdom and he lives as Mahavishnu had promised him for 36,000 years. 36,000 years. That was a lifespan then when the Yuga started, just started, creation just started. From Brahma, there are Prajapati, Swayambhu Manu, Shatarupa. They started the human race. And third generation of that is Dhruva. So he rules. And during his kingdom, what do householders, what should they earn when they are householders? What are the four Purusharthas? What are the four Purusharthas? Anybody? What are we as
Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha.
Moksha, very good. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. These are the four things we should all remember to acquire during our householder's life. Householder's life means you can take up to retirement life. Dharma, Artha, Kama. After retirement, Moksha, or towards Moksha. So he does that. He establishes righteousness. He rules with Dharma, and then he accumulates Artha. That means he rules in a way that the kingdom is full of prosperity and of course fulfilling his desire with his family, with his wife, with his children, with his mother. So he leads a very contented, very prosperous and good, life of a householder. That means as a king. After that, after 36,000 years, then he gives his throne. I mean, he coronates Utkala. He's one of his son from first Brahmi. Brahmi's son Utkala becomes the next successor, and he goes to Badrikashram. Badrikashram. Most of the people you have seen in Bhagavad Purana, they all go to Badrikashram, where it's a nice, pleasant place. River is flowing. There are forests. There's a lot of water, greenery, calm place. Many sages will be there. So it's a very beautiful place to, go as Vanaprasthashram. Now he's going as a Vanaprasthashram. And there he practices Yama, Niyama, Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga. Very sincerely he practices Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga. Anybody knows? Anybody remembers? Anybody knows? One or two of Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga? You can tell? Because I'll keep telling that because we will practice. Because we are in this. It's nice to practice, isn't it? It's nice to practice. So, Yama, Niyama, I'll tell you what are these 8 steps. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. They go in order. I mean, as you go deeper and deeper, it comes, or they can run parallelly also, simultaneously. But these, if you practice all this, then you will reach that Samadhi or state of blissfulness. So, Yama is social discipline. Yama is ahimsa, non-violence. Satya, truthfulness. Asteya, non-stealing. Brahmacharya, self-restraint. Aparigraha, non-covetousness or not cheating, no manipulation. Ahimsa, no hurting others, no killing others. Mentally also no hurting, physically also not hurting others, and not hurting yourself also. Win-win situation. No, don't hurt yourself to keep others happy. You must be always looking into yourself also. If you are fit, then only you are fit to take care of others. So people pleasing personality should not be there. At the same time, the ego should not make you just, speak in a sarcastic way or hurting way. So that should not be there. Truthfulness, truth is always to be practiced. Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat. Bruyat na sada cha apriyam. If you feel your speech creates, if it hurts others, then don't speak. But don't speak false also. Do not speak uh, that is not true. As much as possible. If we are conscious, we can. Asteya is not non-stealing. Non-stealing of the items, not stealing the ideas, not stealing the papers, not stealing their anything. It depends based on what position you are. And brahmacharya, self-restraint. Whenever you want, you should be able to control not only the physical desires, that's the highest. Apart from that, others also. Particularly, these are applicable in Vanaprastha ashrama. But even in young householders' life, use any desire only when required and use it in a disciplined way. We have discussed, no, even the Kama also, disciplined Kama, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita also. So Brahmacharya, and then Aparigraha. Aparigraha is non-covetousness, and also means that you are not going to cheat somebody, deceive somebody. So Niyama is Shaucha, Santosha, Tapas, Swadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhana. Shaucha is cleanliness, external cleanliness, and mental mind cleanliness. Shaucha is purity of the mind also. How do you clean the external, your house? We clean it every day, no? Sweeping and mopping. How do we clean our mind? How do we have manashuchi? By meditation. Every day. Because the thoughts will come, they will interfere, they will start occupying the entire mind. So they have to be thrown out. that which is not required. That comes only through meditation. So clean the house and also clean the mind. Santosha is contented, grateful, gratitude. We have everything. I will keep working. Whatever I get, I share it with others. But to me, as a person, I have everything. I don't need anything more. And I'm happy, whatever I have. Even if there are some shortcomings, it's okay. I will see people who are less privileged than me and I go ahead. That is Santosh. Tapas is austerity. Austerity means every day I want to do this. I want to do yoga. I want to do meditation. I want to work for so many hours without any disturbance. I want to complete my task like this. So that strict adherence to whatever we have resolved, that is tapas. Whatever we have resolved. Need not be like Dhruva, but whatever we have resolved, we should abide by that. We should stick to that and do it regularly. Swadhyaya is self-study. We are all doing adhyana now. Every week we come, we sit. This is also a kind of adhyana. Ishvara pranidhana is surrender to God. Surrender, go within and surrender. Next is, so yama, niyama. These are ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha is yama. Niyama is shaucha, santosha, tapas, swadhyaya, ishvara, pranidhana. Third one is asana. Your sitting and standing position must be accurate. And when you particularly, we must practice some asanas to keep our body fit and to control that prana. To practice all this, no, we need mind control, body control, both. And especially when we are aging, without asanas, it's very difficult to sustain. And we must see that we don't fall sick, because that will take away our time and effort and mental condition. So we must have asanas are preventive. It will not allow us to become diseased. Good health. Pranayama, we know that. Pranayama is control of breathing. Through breathing, we control the prana. Prana, as we said, it is a life force. Life force. So they are distributed all over the body. There are five prana, apana, udana, vyana, samana. 5 types of prana. They control different life forces. So among them, that main prana is a breath, of course, but other forces are to be controlled with this. Pratyahara is going inward. Dharana is single-minded concentration. Dharana, when you close your eyes and if you can think of one item for a long time, then you have achieved dharana. Dharana means dharana, holding the mind in that particular state for as much time as possible. Then dhyana is after dharana. First is concentration. Next is meditative absorption. Means we are focusing on that Atman and we become very, very close to that meditative state as long as we meditate. And of course, it is little lesser than samadhi. Samadhi is totally you become one with the superconscious, where there is no difference between you, the meditation. I mean, you means the meditator, the object of meditation, and the process. Everything becomes one. That is how samadhi is defined. And you know, Sri Ramakrishna Paramhamsa used to be he used to go in between into that state of samadhi. Immediately, he will just sit and he becomes lost. He is in that samadhi. Then people used to give something to his hand or put jamun in his mouth to bring him down to this state. So that is a very highest state. But with practice of all this, that can be done. And that samadhi sthiti is the one where we should reach at least after 60-65 years. So he does that. And then in the end, Vishnu, what happens to him in the end? He decides that now it's time. He sees in his vision, Vishnu, tears starts flowing, and then he reaches that state of samadhi. Then he knows, now I should leave this body. And these people have got what is called Ichha Maranam. So they draw the prana inside and they have a way to leave their body through the yogic practices. Whereas he decides to do that, then the Vishnu's attendants come there, just like Vishnu in aerial vehicle, and then they take his subtle body. He falls there. In the meanwhile, Yama also comes, it seems. And then now where he should go, to Yama or to these people, Mahavishnu has already decided to give him particular position. More so, not only the what he did when he was 5-year-old, and now even in his end of his life, you remember, we said what thoughts come towards end of your life, that will decide your future. So Dhruva is already a spiritual Siddhi Purusha now. So Vishnu takes him to his abode And it is described that Yama comes there, and as he's not bending, he's standing there, but Dhruva keeps his foot on his head as a stepping stone and enters that aerial vehicle. Of course, that's a subtle body, not this gross body. And then he remembers his mother, and they say, the Vishnu attendants, they say, your mother has already left. We have already taken. So you and your mother both are coming there. So see how detached he was with everybody, children, wife, father, everybody. But mother, they say the relationship with mother is something which it is beyond Maya, actually. It's not Maya. Relationship with mother. Even sannyasis, they say sannyasi can have a swami who was taken that orange robe and all that. He has still right to meet his mother. He cannot meet anybody else. No father, no son, no wife, none. But mother he can. He always keeps a relationship. He can keep relationship. Here also he goes. And then so Dhruva, Vishnu takes him, he transcends, he ascends all the lokas, Bhurloka, Bhuvaloka, Suvarloka, Swarga, everything he transcends, Saptarshis, and then reaches the abode of Vishnu. And Vishnu gives him a special place as the pole star, and all the rishis and devatas and everybody, they bow down to him. And it is said he is still Dhruvatare. He's still there as the pole star in the sky. We can see him. So that is what is connected. So as I said, stories of Bhagavad, you can believe, or it's up to you, but this is what is said. Now Narada appreciates him. Now what happens next to his next generation? I will say that, and then we can wind up for the day. So now Dhruva reaches his abode. That was his destiny. His son is Utkala, who was made as the king. Actually, Utkala also has lot of divinity consciousness in him, so much he is absorbed in deep meditation always. Though he is a king, he is one step above Dhruva. He is not interested in this worldly affairs. Always peaceful, always blissful. He takes care of his subjects in the kingdom, but he is somehow absorbed in a higher state. Then one day he feels that he is not fit to be a king, and he doesn't want that. And he leaves the kingdom to a forest at a very young age. He wants to get into a meditative mode. He becomes a tyagi. Okay. Then the rishis and others, they all think now who should be the next king. So this they find the second son is there, no, Vatsara from Ela. Dhruva's second wife is Ela. So her son is Vatsara. So they put him as the king. Vatsara becomes a king. Then Bhagavad describes names of 5 generations, 5 to 6, which I'm not going to tell because we will not remember. So 5th generation is Angaraja, King Anga. Anga is a very, very well-known, once again, spiritually oriented person, and but he doesn't have children. So he's very, very well known. He does lot of yajnas. He respects the rishis. He respects his people. He takes care. He is very, very well known. But he is not having children. So one day he does this Ashwamedha Yajna. Ashwamedha Yajna is to acquire kingdoms and prosperity, like that. So at that time, he offers the Ahuti, Purnahuti to the this Homakunda. That means that sacrificial fire. And those days, when they used to call Deva Devatas, they used to literally come. Today, when we do yajna, we invoke them, we assume that they are there, and those mantras will reach them. So if you believe, it's true. But those days, they used to come. And now he finds that he's calling Indra, Soma, Varuna, nobody is coming. So he is worried. He asks the rishis, what is the problem? Why they are not coming? So they say, because of your karma in the past, and also you don't have issues, children. So this will become, this dynasty will stop. So you must have children. So what can I do? It's been so many years that I got married. We are so nice, loving in relationship. But why I don't have? So he says, you pray, Lord. And they say you can pray do a sacrifice, you devote and ask him, he will give. Anta. You ask for an issue, this is a fact. One issue you ask and pray day and night, it will happen actually. But whether it is doing good or bad for us, that is seen now actually. You remember we discussed this once. We ask God, I want this, I want this boy, I want this son, I want this son in law, I want this daughter in law, I want this daughter in law, I want this son in law, I want this job. Okay, take it. If you do it sincerely, you take it. What does that job do to you? It's not under his control. He has given you what you wanted. He has given you the same husband, the same wife, whatever. What happens next is not in his control. It is gone. Then whatever happens, you have to face it. So here what happens is this Angaraja, no, he will do that sacrifice, and then one Devata will come and he will carry, just like Dhanvantri carrying that bowl of Amrita, no? So here also he will come with a bowl of one payasam. Payasam means it's a dessert, like milk and something, sugar and something in that, fruits and all that. So this Angaraja is very pleased, and he smells it and gives it to his wife. That is how it was supposed to be. Now she will drink that and she will become fertile, and then they have a son. His name is Vena. His name is Vena. Vena is born to Angaraja. Okay. This Vena is a he follows his maternal grandfather, whose name is Adharma. As I said in this one, so he is just opposite to Angaraja. Angaraja prays and does so much of tapas to get a son, but look what kind of son is born to him. He's so cruel. He kills his playmates just like animals. We have seen no some school child killing his own classmate. Huh? And in America also some boy came and he shot all his classmates. Something like that. This man, he kills. Life is of no meaning to him. He left, right, he keeps killing, and more so because he's son of the king, he's a prince. So this upsets his parents like anything. His father sits and convinces him this is not the way. ಏನು ಕೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. He just goes and takes his own this thing, whimsical, and his grandfather, as they say, Adharma, that man used to pamper him and mislead him. So now Angaraja becomes very upset. He keeps asking Narada and others, uh, what is the reason? I believe divinity so much. I have prayed Lord so much. I have, given up everything to get this son. And look what I have got. Why is this happening to me? So the rishis tell him actually that sometimes such things are created to elevate your consciousness, because all these challenges, because you are destined to go higher, you are destined to go higher, and these karmas keep coming. Don't bother. You keep doing your spiritual practices. And he also reflects, he feels so bad. Why at all did I do a sacrifice? If this was a son this was a kind of son I was going to get, I would never have done a sacrifice. I would have been very happy without having any children. So what is this, Santa? He will reflect and he gets this advice also. Then one day he decides that enough is enough, and he leaves the home and he also goes to forest, because this how worldly life is of no use. So all this, when there was one YouTube reel which was very popular. I think Padmaja had shared from ISKCON. No, ISKCON, or there's one more lady, just like Shivani, there's one more, very beautifully. She is a Krishna devotee. When Lord wants person to be reaching higher state, liberated state, when he starts finding that this particular person is coming closer to me, and he has the pure mind to go towards liberation, then what he does is he will start taking away initially. Later he gives. Initially he start taking away. He'll take away his house, his money, his relationship. He creates a bad relationship so that his sadhana becomes more intense. He knows this person When anything happens to him, he comes to me only. Anything happens. See, there are two kinds of people. When something goes wrong in our life, either we blame, we become very bitter, and start taking revenge, and we feel nothing is there, no God and all, or immediately we hold the Lord's feet and we say, guide me. Where should I go? How do you give me solution? What should I, which action I should take? This is how Lord differentiates between a person who is sincerely coming to him and who is just suffering. So initially, he makes the suffering very intense. He gives more and more, he deprives them of so many things so that they come closer. They understand the um, futility. This is of this worldly things. They understand the truth is divine. So as we go higher, this keeps coming. So whenever we are deprived of something, we must not be deprived of anything, not only money or something, anything, any relationship, money, position, or we are insulted, you must think that it is his creation to make us go again and again towards him. So here also, the rishis actually tell him, if you did not have such a son, one is you would have long back reached samadhi. Second thing is, that is one way. Another way of looking is, it is making you take a stand of detachment from the worldly affairs. So Angaraj now leaves the kingdom. He is least bothered. Now, whether the kingdom flourishes or not, Vena is going to spoil. He's not listening to me. And why should I waste my time correcting this son, who is a useless fellow, who is not going to take anybody's suggestion? He goes to the forest. Now, next, what happens is Vena has to become the king because there's nobody there. So the rishis, ministers, and all will think and make him the king. But very unfortunate that Vena becomes like another Asura only. He has got all characteristics of demons. So he occupies a throne and he rules as though he is the Lord, God himself. And he doesn't value the rishis, he doesn't value the people around, and whatever he says, dictatorial, just like Napoleon or Hiranyakashipu. So, okay, so when the rishis and all go and advise him, they say, you are a great king. They try to speak diplomatically. They want to settle this. So they say, you are a great king and you have been doing very well. You are very powerful. They appreciate all his positive things, but they say, but Hari is above. And if you do yaga, yatna and all, your kingdom will flourish still more and all the people will be happy. Why shouldn't we do that? To which Vena says, you fools, he uses exactly, I pity you people. You are thinking so low. What is this happening? You don't have any brains. Until he will use all kinds of words and he will say, no yatnya. I am the Hari, I am Shiva, I am Brahma, I am Indra. That's what exactly they say. I am the Varuna, I am the Soma. You worship me, no need of this. Yeah, you, what is that? Yajna Purush. Who is that Yajna Purush? I am living here. I am standing right in front of you, and you are talking about Yajna Purush? No, nothing is going to happen. So this irritates the rishis, and now they regret for having made him the king, and they chant very powerful mantras and kill him on the spot. Vena is killed because he's misusing his power and he's bringing disgrace to the humanity and he's spoiling everything. Adharmis are increasing without doing these yatnas and chanting and dana, all these austerities. The Prithvi, this earth, will not survive. So we need to take actions. They saying so, they kill him. Now what happens? His body is there. Now they have another thing very interesting and very mysterious thing happens. What they do is the body is there, so they actually mince the the muscles and the bone and everything of Vena, of his thighs, they mince. And from there is born one man who looks like a tribal, Nishida. They want to generate, these rishis have that power. They want to generate a powerful king out of the Vena's body only. All those Pancha Mahabhutas, everything is there. They want to invoke the consciousness and probably bring out a person. So what happens is from his thigh, somebody comes who doesn't suit. So they send him to the forest. Then from his shoulders, they mince nicely and chant some mantras. From there come uh, two beings, one male and another female. Into the male, there is invoking of Lord Vishnu, is called Prithu, and the female one is called Shri, Lakshmi. And as we have discussed those days, there is no question of consanguineous marriage and all. These two get married. These two, one male, one female, they get married and then they continue the progeny. Very interesting stories of Bhagavad. So today we end here and we shall take the next story of Prithu in the next session. So this is how generation wise uh, description of every generation. If you see the same dynasty, the same genes, so called, but different kind of people, different kind of, they are born to the same parents, but see how Vena was there, how Angaraj was there. And if you go, by the way, yeah, Angaraj. And then from there, if you trace back, how Dhruva was there, Uttamapada. But Dhruva's brother was not so good. And in between Dhruva and Angaraj, there were many people not so good. So as the time changes, people change. And if you see this whole happenings, no, this whole stories, all these stories, it's not only the family that matters. It is their time and gunas and their karma that will decide how they are going to behave. So with that, I conclude today's session. Any additions you have? Anybody wants to add anything related to these characters in today's story? Kavita, your thoughts, please.
No, ma'am, nothing. I just were very interesting stories. Dhruva I've
Stories.
heard, but Dhruva story I've heard about the Dhruva
Yeah,
Nakshatra, but others and all was
yeah,
very
yeah,
nice and interesting, new to
yeah,
me.
yeah. Yes, yeah. Anything would you like to comment on that? No?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. There's
Yeah.
always a mix of good and bad across, and
Alva?
yes, in our surroundings. So I think it
Correct.
depends on us what we have to take.
Correct. Correct.
Everything
What
is
we
there.
have,
Yes, what we
correct.
have to take.
What we have to take. I was reading Krishnavatarada Koneya Galigegalu anta. There is one book written by K.N.S. Narayanachar. You must read that book. Long back in, I think, early 90s. It used, there was one magazine called Taranga. Do you remember? Kannada
Ma'am,
Taranga.
yes, ma'am. Yes,
There
ma'am.
it used to come as a series. If you read that, you will feel so bad. Krishna was such a nice and well-known author of Bhagavad Gita. We all adore him. But his own sons, the way they
Mm.
speak about him, opposite, just like this Angaraja and Vena, Yadava, that's how they die. And Krishna knows
Mm.
about it. But he is also a human being, no? Though he is an incarnation. So that whole book is, if you can, do you read Kannada, Kavita?
No, not exactly, ma'am,
Then,
but
it's very, I don't know whether the translation, actually he was an English professor, the person who has written, but when I read that, I'm reading still, I felt so amazed to see his own creation. Yadav has become, Gandhari, of course, would have cursed, but the way they behave, behavior, drinking, and gambling, and also criticizing Krishna. They have all criticized Krishna so much. You
Mhm.
can't believe, are they Krishna's sons? Anta nimge ಆಶ್ಚರ್ಯ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. Like that. So there is time, as they have told, no, everything depends on karma, time. That time it had to happen because that Dwapar Yuga had to end, it seems. So that was his creation. That's how it
Mhm.
happened. So, but anytime, anything. So just because the parents are good, children may not be good. We should not, we should accept it actually. Always, it doesn't mean that if the father is like this, Mahatma Gandhi's son was opposite.
Mhm.
So we know that. So it all depends on so many things because only by context,
Karma.
father and son, karma. It's all karma, guna, previous this thing, their samskar, all that matters, previous samskar. So that is what it is. Anybody else wants to add anything? Suvachala? Uh,
Yeah, I'll just give what I have understood is if we maintain negative feelings towards others, means we'll have regret like Dhruva initially. Later, I mean, if we got maturity through spiritual practices, or practicing meditation, we can hold on that grudges. I mean, no more grudges will be there.
Grudges. Yes,
So maybe
correct,
that is good.
correct. That's
Good
a great lesson.
attracts. One quotation is there, no, ma'am. Good attracts goodwill.
Correct. Correct. Good attracts goodwill. So we must try to go towards that good only. And that is very essential for us in this spiritual path. We should. And Dhruva, he came back. See, he had that in his mind, but he had deviated and somebody guided him and he listened to them. That is also important. And then he comes back. Good, good message. Yes. Manjula, anything you want to add or something?
ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಅಕ್ಕ. ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಹಳ ಚಲೋ ಅನಿಸ್ತು. ಬಹಳ ದಿನ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಮಿಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ
Correct, correct.
ಬಟ್